hope everybody saw that, had a good time. We had a lot of fun doing that. That was, I don't know who did it because he had shades on, but whoever did do it, he did a pretty good job. And then, did anybody see the encore? Okay, I did play the encore because I didn't have shades on. But Mr. Ross Gerberowski, I really struggle with that last name from time to time. Ross, I'm sure you've heard of Ross. It came on the Power Hour with Luke. We were hanging out, and he was like, he asked for a little encore. So I picked up that guitar and I started shredding. It was, thank you, Joseph. I may or may not have seen the Blues Brothers a few times, but yes. Oh man, playing for Ross was definitely the highlight for me last week. That was spectacular. So anyway, I'm glad everyone got to have a little bit of fun. Hopefully got a smile out of that. This stuff is so, finance can be so stressful, particularly trading. Money makes people go crazy. I know that better than anybody. Trust me, I've been in financial services before Benzinga for 10 years, so I get it. It's intense. So I was glad to give a smile, a little break in the action just for everybody to take a sigh of relief and say, hey, man, it's 4th of July weekend. I should go get a hot dog. But anyway, it is Friday. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome. Made my day. I'm Mike. I'm wearing a Metallica t-shirt. That means it is Wake Up with Benzinga. We are the show dedicated to you for us to get better as traders together. That is the core of the show. We want to make sure everyone has a very easygoing, knowledgeable place to come into, ask questions, throw some tickers in the chat, start talking about them together, reviewing news, and literally sharpen our skills together so that we're all getting better, moving in the right direction, making more money. Now, and I say that because of my experience. I've been a financial advisor for 2 years before I joined Benzinga. I was not satisfied as a financial advisor. The people that need advisors the least use them the most, and it was just not a fulfilling position. And I've been in finance for 10 years. Before that, I worked for JP Morgan. I've worked for Raymond James. I worked for Chase Bank. In fact, my old boss from Chase Bank, my very first boss, just joined Benzinga. He was at Chase for 17 years. How cool is that? But anyway, I understand money is very stressful, and we just want to have a little fun together. But I'm sorry, most importantly, I've always been a long-term guy. I've always had my money long into the market. I've always recognized that as working for a bank. I got to change that skill set. I want to become better as a swing trader, a little bit better as a day trader, and that is the purpose of the show. So we can all do this together. So let's have some fun. I'm having a Metallica t-shirt, man. And if you can't see it, it's a warrior. He's got a warrior helmet on. So that's what we're doing today. We have a lot of stocks to get through. We have quite a few. If anybody's got any, first off, smash that like on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. I am using our very trusty and handy Benzinga Pro. Sorry about the issues yesterday. We got them all fixed. However, we have a lot of stocks to get to. We're going to kind of dive right in. If you do have a ticker, I can't see it on the YouTube or the Twitter stream. So sign up for Benzinga Pro for a 2-week trial for free. Have some fun. You'll get into the happy hour with us on Friday. Throw a ticker in the chat and you can have a good time. So let's dive kind of right in. Now, for anybody that is a regular in the show, I love you. Glad you're here. Thank you. You may recognize the ticker behind me, or whatever. SQNS, long story short, they are a 5G telecommunications company. They've been around for quite some time. If we zoom out long enough, we'll see that their ticker has been as high as, well into the 20s. And before that, it was even in the 70s. Now, I started following SQNS at the beginning of 2020, actually, believe it or not, in January. So I've been riding this stock for a while. I've noticed a nice little channel, a nice little pattern, and that's what we're focused on first. So from time to time, I have a pretty large position in this stock just because it's one of the few positions out there that I really see a kind of a dedicated pattern, and I'm very comfortable swing trading this stock. Overall, I like to sell between 7 And $9, that's kind of my sweet spot, albeit that's a wide range. It kind of gets through there quite a bit. And then I like to buy anytime under 6. And guess what? We're under 6. So I just wanted to quickly follow up on this particular stock where we are today. I have been a little bit quiet on this, but it's just literally following exactly as it should be, where it is and what it's doing. I will be purchasing a few more shares today at 562 as soon as the market opens. I'm just going to pick up some shares literally at the opening bell and just keep riding this up. We don't need to get into long technicals or a long analysis other than it is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's following in its nice little pattern. It is leveling off a little bit here. That does concern me just a tad, but it's still staying way above this lower support range. And I think it looks okay. RSI, I'm looking good, right at about 40. So I think it's going to have a little bit more upward pressure. I'm okay with the stock right now. Just wanted to follow up on that one. Now, for last week's show, if anybody remembers, we dove deep into Deutsche Bank. Hey, Joseph, look at that. We're up to nice. I'll take that. Okay. So Deutsche Bank, everybody knows Deutsche Bank as Germany's largest bank. I just love the stock. Very simply, again, kind of a quick recap. It is Germany's largest bank. I love the financial sector. Long story short, because of my experience, the management teams in the financial sector are unlike anything I've ever experienced, where not only are banks and investment firms literally made of money, they've got plenty of cash, but their whole purpose in life is to make money. The purpose of Tesla is to change the world. The purpose of Amazon is to deliver packages, so forth. Banks, they make money. That's it. That is literally their purpose in life. Otherwise, they're useless. No one would go into them. So maybe it would like some help here. However, the first thing that caught my eye is our RSI, our RSI party. We're right around 30. And if anybody doesn't know, I like to think of RSIs as a party, literally, and that's relative strength indicator. So think of it this way. It really essentially measures panic and greed. So think of you're hosting a party. Your party can only hold 100 people. If you're at a line of 70, your party is going to get overcrowded. Some idiot in the back is going to yell, cop or parent, whatever. And everyone's going to rush out of the party. They're going to leave. That's when your RSI gets over 70. Your party's too crowded. Everyone's going to panic and leave. When your party is still kicking, you still got beer and music and people and friends, but there's just not a lot of people there. Your RSI is low. It's around 30. People are going to look around and be like, hey, man, this is a great party. I think it's got everything we need. Why is nobody here? We better get on the horn. We better get some friends over. It'll start ticking up. Where's our RSI right now for Deutsche Bank? It's at 30. Now, full disclosure, it was on Tuesday. I added to my position. I picked up another 40 shares at 1244. I did have pretty much my selling point was going to be right around 12. Really looking at the chart, it was going to be at this 1194 level. We didn't quite get there, but we pretty much bounced off and we've been slowly working our way up. Earnings are going to be at the end of the month. And let's see here. I have these right here. Our our previous earnings dates, October 28th, February 4th, and April 28th. We'll see. Let's take April for example. We're on the daily here. So earnings were on the 28th themselves using Benzinga Pro. Boom. Nice pop right there. There's a huge gap up. Nice. Okay, so we're going to see a pretty steady steam, then hopefully a gap up, and then it pushes up a little bit further. So that was April. Let's double check February. That was February 4th. All right, pretty much the same thing. A push downward before earnings, and then a nice pop up. And then let's talk about October 28th. Where are we here? Bada bing, bada boom. Right here, same thing. Downward pressure, then a pop up. So I got that same thing. I got a little bit of downward pressure. I think it's probably going to hold steady, maybe dip. I don't think it's going to go too much later and then push up. Ideally, if anyone was around the show from last week, we want to see it get into this $15 range, get into a higher channel, and have a few more possibilities there. Is it going to hit there anytime soon? Probably not, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does after earnings. It was just butting up against that without a ton of catalysts. So I'm a little excited about this stock. I think I got a great price. My upside isn't astronomical. I would be very happy with 20%. I'd probably let go of the position I just took at that time. That would be fine with me. So interested in the stock. Just want to do a quick follow up on those two. SQNS, we're holding steady in the pattern. I like the price where it is right now. I don't see a lot of catalysts anytime soon. Let's actually, before I forget, let's double check on their next earnings. I don't think it's until April. Using Benzinga Pro. We're in the details tool. I'm going to go to calendar, boom, and earnings, and I'll have everything I need to know right now. Yeah, not until August, so I got some time. Not too surprised. Not a big deal. Deutsche Bank will be much sooner. So again, SQNS pretty much going to hold steady. Maybe add to my position. It'll pop. If I'm going to do anything today, if I'm going to do anything with the shares I'm going to add today, I'll easily let them go probably right around this top. And I can't guarantee it's going to get there, but I really like the stock. Deutsche Bank, same thing. Just let it steady. I like seeing this rebound here. I really needed to see that. That's good, and I think it's going to be okay. Overall, Joseph, if you are out there, I know you are, my man. I did think this gap was going to want to be filled in, so I wasn't too concerned about this downward pressure and then these candles. I didn't like that it got a little below that, but I think it's going to want to push up. And again, our RSI is just too low to stay down that far.
Hey, man.
So, what's up, hombre?
Hey, yeah, I remember the email I sent you about the possibility of it bouncing right off that 12 level. It got down to 1190. It got down to 1198,
and it did it.
Yeah, so we're about there, and that's because we had an EMA right there. We also had a good level of support from past price action at the $12 level. So that was a pretty good, strong level of support. And now you also have the 200 daily moving average right beneath that area. So if we do leak a little bit, we still have that level of support there too.
Great point, man. That is an excellent point. Yeah, we do. Our 200 is this kind of this yellow line right here. I like to use the pastilles because the black is so just like looking out into the abyss, right? So let's get a little color in there. That's a very, very valid point. We have that 200 200-day moving average as a nice support level. We didn't quite bounce off that. Got some space to go. Joseph, is this this green color is my 20. Mm-hmm. This reddish pink color is my 50. We have an X here. Is that something special? Is that a unique?
That's a silver cross. I'm sorry. No. Silver cross is when when the 20 crosses upward through the 50. This is the opposite. I don't think this has a name, but it's bearish. It's like short-term bearish. So this is, it makes sense that the price went down after this cross happened.
Yeah, right.
And I think you're right. I think it does go sideways a bit here. If you look at the first quarter of this year, you see all that sideways action. Or am I getting no, I'm sorry. I think I have my days. No, I have it right. So yeah, that sideways action between February and April, that's probably what we're gonna see until the 20 comes down and makes contact with the price.
I'm with you on that, man. I'm with you. Now that's kind of a wide range though. From let's see, that's February 25th to April 4th. So we definitely. Oh wait, no. So that would be the time before earnings. I think we're going to see this leveling out before the end of the month, which the earnings are in about 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's going to go sideways, but I don't think it's going to go sideways for that as long as that first quarter track. I think it's going, as soon as it hit earnings, it's going to pop up. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the first time that the price is even this close to the 200 since October. So this is kind of like a first time in a while that I've seen you kind of thing. It might be one of those things where if it hits the 200, then you'll start seeing the reversal. If it hits the 20, if the 20 catches up with it, might see a reversal there. But it's really going to come down to those earnings, which like you said, are going to be probably most likely good.
They're probably going to be good.
We have American banks starting to report next week.
Yes, we do. I'm excited about that, and they need a good report right now.
I'm expecting a lot of, hey, we survived the stress test, so here's dividends, here's some share buybacks. Enjoy our stock.
I love that.
That's kind of what the expectation is.
Very black and white. That's a very banky thing to do. That makes perfect sense. I think that's a good idea, man. Well, so far so good. I think now the only thing I think we probably going to have to spend some time charting, and I'm actually very much looking forward to doing this, is figuring out, do we have a play leading into earnings or do we have a play out of earnings? Most likely it looks like we're going to be holding through earnings, letting it pop, and then offloading those shares as soon as we can. Now,
yeah, because they've been getting some pretty good news lately.
Yeah.
They've been the banks. Okay, so they've been being assigned the bank for certain depositories. I think it's in the news what they were for. It was, like whenever a big company needs to take payment or whatever, they have here we go. Deutsche Bank appointed as depository bank for sponsored American Depository Receipt Program of Ding Dong, Cayman. So it's that kind of thing that I was seeing a lot of. They are getting appointed as a depository bank. That means money's going towards them. So
exactly.
So they can do their thing.
About time. And I'm not. And again, in their management shakeup from a few months ago, I think they have the right people, the right place at the right time. And guys, I cannot emphasize enough that their sole purpose in life is to make money. So the management team being responsible for that, they have to have the right people at the right time. It's a big deal. So to see the bank get some positive news, to have some momentum in the stock, and it being in a good position earning wise, for me, it's a kind of an exciting stock. Hey, we're up 3%. Pre-market too. I'll take that. Okay. Not bad. Gary, you had a bank real quick. Let's jump to that. Or what is WY? I've got a slew of tickers, but we have a ticker from the chat. How do you say this, Gary? Weihauser? What is this, more German stuff? I like
it.
I guess so.
It looks like it.
World's largest forest product companies. Hey, I like the sound of that. Pulp business, okay. International paper, 3 business segments: timberlands, wood products, and real estate. Oh, I don't mind that. When are their earnings, Gary? Let's take a quick peek at this. They are going to be coming up at the end of the month. Previously, not too bad, looking okay. When was the last earnings? April 30th. Let's jump to the chart. I'll get to a daily. We're right there. Oh my gosh, it is so nice having the charts working flawlessly today. Good job, development team. All right, so last earning was on April 30th, and they did have a nice pop before or right there after. That's looking good. Okay, so we have that little cross again, but we're holding steady on that 200. RSI is right around 49. You're probably getting a fair price sooner than later. This is interesting. Yeah, Bollinger Bands are starting to consolidate, get nice and tight. Gary,
there's two green candles going over the 20 and then staying over. That's good.
Yeah, that is good. Gary, this is a good find, man. Not bad at all. Let's see.
This is an interesting stock. I was just reading the quick synopsis on it, and they do make forest products. They're also in like the timberlands, wood products, and real estate. So they're kind of like what they make their own. They make their own timber for the houses they build. Is that what the angle is? Because it seems it's saying, which is interesting, they're not required to pay federal income taxes on earnings generated by their lumber harvest activities. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Earnings from its wood product segment are subject to federal income tax. So and they acquired a fellow timber REIT in 2016. So there's a lot of different angles this thing has, which is interesting.
And I like its space. I definitely appreciate the real estate portion that they have of their business. I think that's a good call, particularly now. I definitely agree with Gary as well. I would love to throw this out to the chat. Does the sudden decreasing lumber price pose a threat to this stock? That is a good question. I'm gonna say not. I'm gonna say no leading up to earnings because I think those earnings are going to be so strong based on prior prices. I think you probably have a better shot at a shorter term play if you want to make some quick money off of Weyhauser. But that's as my good as my guess. What do you guys think? That's a good question.
I don't think. I mean, I like this stock. So just when I'm reading initially, and the answer to your question about it being affected by timber, this is probably one of the companies that's setting the prices.
Oh, that could be true.
I mean, yeah, because I agree with Gary. I don't think the lumber prices are going to impact this particular report because a lot of all those high prices and sales from those high prices already happened. And it's going to be probably reflected in the next earnings report. That's what I think Gary's talking about. I would agree with that.
Also, that's a very, very valid point. Where is the lumber being grown? Because if these lumber prices were artificially propped up with lack of inventory, border being closed between Canada and the United States, if they are a German company, are they growing the trees in Europe? And that may not matter at all.
Sorry, I was reading what the chat was saying.
Yeah, me too. Well, I said, where are the trees being grown? Are they being grown in Germany? Are they being grown here? Because I think our price inflation was based on lack of inventory from the border being closed. Most of our lumber comes from Canada. If they're a global company, if they're selling all over Europe, Europe's doing fine. Who knows? That's it. We'll have to touch base on that a little bit more.
Yeah,
interesting. I think it's a good find, Gary.
Yeah, it is. I think that's a smart one. Jim was asking about what about supply and demand for winter? Not, I'm assuming the same, not factored in. I don't know. We're looking that far ahead in particular with this. I think we're just looking towards the next earnings, which when is that date, by the way?
I believe July 30th.
July 30th before the market. He put it up there. So this got support from the 200. You're breaking through the 20. It's looking like it's going to hold the 200 at the very least.
At the very least, for sure. And yeah, hopefully, when was the last one? Would have been April 30th. And we had a nice pop before then. Yeah, it dipped down, and then on earnings, it rode up nicely. And that was from about 38.78 all the way up to 41.80. Okay, so that's not too bad. Nice $3 swing there. You'll probably get the same thing, in my opinion. Hopefully earnings are great. Definitely the probability is far more in your favor, Gary, than anything else that's going to be a healthy pop. And I like your option play into that. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, the one thing I don't like about this is how the 50 is just kind of facing a little bit downward.
I see that.
That's that could be nothing because you already have this great momentum going in the upward direction off the 20. So you'll have to see what happens and just be careful around that 50 area. But if it gets through that, it could probably just blast right through it in the short term. I just don't know what the catalyst would be aside from earnings.
Now, when you see the Bollinger Bands start to tighten like that, and I know not everybody uses every indicator, not every indicator is flawless, but does that start to tell you, okay, this is probably going to want to level off, thus this 50 should also reflect that, and we should be okay? Does that help your viewpoint?
Let's see. We got about 3 weeks before we see the earnings, so
yeah,
it could level off, and we might just be underneath it for a little bit, and just kind of have that little bit of a consolidation where it's between the 20 and the 50. I'm sorry, the 200 and the 50, and it's just riding the 20. I don't know. I can't really say for sure because I don't know too much about the stock, but it looks like it did get stretched on that last earnings, and it just came down. And I think this could be, a continuation of where it bounced off the bottom there, because it did get oversold.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it did. Right there. It touched on the 10th when it reached its high. That was right around 70. Yeah, and that was
after earnings. That was after earnings. That was about 2 weeks, maybe a week or two.
Awesome.
So I think it got down to the oversold. It's coming back up. It's right in the middle now. So that's probably where it's going to hang out.
Probably. And Joseph, that's a great point. You absolutely answered my question. Is just this is going to stay sideways. This is probably going to trend downward with it, but it's nothing to really freak out about. And obviously, just hold steady moving into earnings. Guys, I would honestly probably keep my eye on RSI the most, just so that if I'm thinking about jumping into, I want to make sure I'm getting a fair price. I don't want on a play like this where it's pretty specific. We're going to ride it to a short term. We're going to have earnings coming out. We're going to play right after earnings. I'm going to want to make sure I'm just getting a good price to maximize my profit. So I'm going to don't want to be overbought. Don't want to be paying a premium for something I don't have to.
Because if I draw a trend line from the top at May 10th, and I draw it straight through the June 2nd candle on down to where we just broke out, we just actually broke out of this trend. That's why we have those two. We have the green candle that broke out, and then we have the other green candle next to it that tested the trend on the way down and said, nope, I'm going to stay up. So that was yesterday. It had a green candle on yesterday. And because the market opened down, and you can see that on the price action, it did test below that 20, and it bounced off the trend line I literally just drew. So I mean, it's showing that it looks bullish when I draw this trend line. It just doesn't look so good when you take it away and see that a lot of the stock is still in a bit of a downtrend with the 50 putting downward pressure on it. So I just would be careful. I mean, it looks good. I like this. I think it's a great pick. But I don't know too much about the stock or how it's traded in the past. I'd have to do some more research, but it looks good.
Yeah, looks good overall. Awesome. Great find, Gary. Appreciate that, man. If guys, feel free to throw some tickers out there so we can all talk about it together. We all see things in our own way. We're all going to rely on different parts of information, and there's going to be things you're not going to be aware of. So throw it out there so we can get some different points of view and really say, hey, this is why I look at it this way. So next play, let's jump into BP Midstream Partners. Oh, golly, I love this stock, guys. Okay, so this stock first caught my attention in the first half of the year. I found it through Benzinga Pro, and I found it through doing demos for Benzinga Pro. I set my scanner in a certain way for very profitable companies. I keep my margins at least 35%, and then I make sure my profit margin is at least 45%, and then I have my float under 25 million, and I'll mine that for about a week straight, and I'll find which stock, or a week or two, find which stock consistently comes up. And BP Midstream Partners, and I'm sorry, I for weeks I would do multiple demos a week, so I'll keep my eye on the tickers that I see the most week after week after week. BP was always at the top of the heap. I, of course, bought at the high. I bought it right around. I did one more demo. It was still there, and I about lost my shit because it's like I can't be losing more money. Literally, guys, I started watching it when it was around $11, and it just had this straight upward trend. And I decided to get in, and I'm like, I don't know, somewhere between $15.50 and $16. And I popped up for a couple days, and I've been in a downward trend ever since. Here's a stock where I have a lot of bullish indication, a lot of thesis to it. I love the energy play. I love oil prices right now. I think the second half of the year is going to be great. I think earnings are going to, or as we're moving into earnings season, I think energy is going to have strong earnings. I'm into this sector. I'm into this play. The chart is not holding it up for me, unfortunately. And here's where I'm starting to get a little more rocky. What do I do, team? Should I load up on a few more shares? Should I maybe be prepared to let this go for a 20% loss? I don't want another PTCT therapeutics debacle on my hands. I don't think we're going that way. But I still like the stock.
We'll have to look at that one because I didn't see how that one ended up. I just noticed that since we talked about VISL, which we'll probably get into later, that one had a nice pop up and then fell. We'll get that.
Oh,
we'll
the goddamn time!
But that was yeah, it does that. That was the third time I did it. We'll talk about that one in a second because you're on midstream right. This midstream right now. I like midstream oil plays. I think they're probably the safer of the oil plays.
Yep.
in my opinion, just because, everybody needs it moved around. But, there's a lot of, it seems like there's a lot of higher leverage companies when it comes to, drilling it, and getting it out of the ground. So as far as I can tell with this one, yeah, I see what you're saying about how it's where do you want to get in, or get what's your
exactly.
Okay.
I either want to because I still, now let's double check first. Let's go to some analyst ratings and let's see if we can get a general call here. So May 26th, our most recent price target is 15. It definitely crushed that. It got well above it. April 27th, it had a $16 price target, and I'm pretty sure it reached $16. Maybe just a hair shy. So it's still got the $16 price rating out there, the target. I'm still bullish on the sector overall. It's just like, what do I want to keep this capital stuck in a position that I know I've got some long-term potential, but is there something else that I could do in the short term, particularly if this stock is going to keep going down, or do I just stick with my bullish thesis, load up on some shares, take advantage of the discount, and move on?
I'll say this about the sector. I do think you're right. I've been saying it for some time, because I was in Energy Transfer, that I think oil is going to see good earnings from the demand over the summer, especially.
Exactly.
And it's been, the economy's it's like a reopening play as well, because more people going back on the road, more people going back to work, traveling. You're going to need more fuel. I was looking at other comparables like Enbridge and ET. I haven't looked at Enterprise Product Partners yet, but it seems like they all have really similar charts where they had a nice recent pop up and then it's kind of leaked into their 50-day moving average. The thing about BP is that I noticed that it actually sank through its 50, where the others bounced off of it.
Yep. Okay.
Is that why you're worried?
Yes. Not exactly, man. I was just hoping because, and Joseph, it was these days right here. I was like, okay, it's holding on, and then it started getting some more steam, and it's coming down. I'm seeing also my downward pressure starting to get a little bit of, okay, it's going to want to turn around here, but I just don't know if that's going to crush it or not. I still got a lot of room. I think it's going to keep moving. I'm just kind of at a quagmire. That's basically what it is, man. It's like I could have just bought in June. I would have been fine. I don't know. It's going to be a tougher play for me to figure out right now.
I see the 500 did provide some resistance at the beginning of the year, and then we broke through it in April. Well, not really broke through it, but we we closed over it and then broke above it, I guess you could say. And then it's at least it's support now, but it's at a really low level, so it'd be a little scary to suggest that it gets down to 1270.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't either.
Too.
But I just don't see too many. I guess there's a level at 1390. If you draw a line at 1390 and look back through 2020 and beyond, you can see that that's a pretty good level of support based on past price action.
Oh yeah, great point. Okay, so we're going to hold steady. So, folks, you heard it here first. Buy now, because you're going to get a good goddamn price. Not from Joseph's recommendation, from the guy wearing the Metallica t-shirt's recommendation. Okay. Not Joseph. No. Just that little piece is definitely something I needed to see. And if I was on the edge, and if I had seen this stock before, and I was like, okay, what do I want to do with this? But I've only seen it go up. I like the long-term play. I just need to find my entry point. I need to find my price. I'm a buyer at 13 bucks, 13.90. That's fine. Anywhere in that range sounds good. 14.18 is probably going to be okay. If I had to take a gut impression, which is not something you always want to do in finance. I would see a little bit more downside shortly, not a ton more. I think there's just too much momentum going to pull it into the future, and it's going to rock it up. But I sincerely, folks, I'm not giving you advice, but I'm like nudging you. I would take advantage of the price action right now. I'm still bullish that it's going to get to that $16 price mark. Hopefully even a little bit higher. And I think it's a decent play. I don't want to say it's a safe play, but I want to say it's a decent play. Take advantage and move on. Okay. We had another, Gary, what were you talking about? Stamp shares, STMP. I'm not familiar with STMP. Let's take a look at STMP.
Stamps.com.
Stamps.com. What? You know what, guys? My girlfriend just spent $60 on stamps because she had an engagement party. She had to send out invitations for.
Oh, they're being acquired.
Oh, wow. Jeez, oh, Pete. And there's your 20%. Jeez. Wow.
Okay, so
share.
Yeah,
wow.
So wait, okay, so let me understand something. Is this where you could get in right now and then just ride it all the way up to 330?
Joseph, I'm in the same question. That's a group. Oh, it's halted. Okay, it's halted in the pre-market at 737. Huh.
Shares to resume trade at 8 a.m. when Robinhood has a stab at it.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. Now, if I click this button, do you guys see the Zoom?
Join a live Zoom demo?
Yeah, okay. I would love to know if somebody could jump to their brokerage right now and see what price they could get in the pre-market from their broker. I've got Merrill Edge. I'm probably going to get a pretty shitty price. But man, because I am totally with Joseph on that. It's at 239. Why would I not jump in with 100 shares and ride it up to 330? And typically, how long does that take? How long? Like, when is this deal going to get done? Let's see the big news here. Wow. And okay, with anybody that's been through this a couple times, when they say they're going to be acquired at $330 a share in cash, that's just what they're paying for the company, right? So essentially, Thoma Bravo is going to way overpay for Stamps.com. And that's not going to be reflected in the share price? I don't think so.
Well, I mean, it's going to go private. So, it's something that you have to pay attention to. When does that actually go down? Because then you'll be holding nothing, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. And then you don't want to. Oh, man, dude, look at that gap right there from February. Jeez, oh, Pete's. Also, there's another thing I would love to get a little more experience on is how I know gaps want to get filled in, but I never know in what time frame. Like, do you look at a weekly? Do you look at a daily candle? Obviously, never an hourly because it's going to change too much. But I mean, that would have been enticing unto itself. Interesting play, man. I wish I had some shares ahead of time. Put a buy order in and take a shot out of the hall. Yeah. I think you're absolutely right, hombre. I think you are spot on, man. $240 a share. I don't know how many shares am I going to get? How much capital do I want to expend into this?
I may not do it because I'm already seeing bid offers at 300. Bids are at 300. Asks at least are at 2. Well, they're dropping to 220 now.
Huh.
So I don't know. I mean, yeah, if you're already in this, you're probably going to be really, really happy. I don't know. This might be one of those things that would be a little bit too risky to try to get into. But yeah, I mean, like Gary said, just take a shot if you want to be in this one because it looks like you're going to have a good day.
Yeah, you're exactly. Because you're going to have a good day. Everybody call their friends this weekend and ask if anybody was holding Stamps.com and ask them why and who the hell told them to buy it. What the hell? Okay.
If my uncle is in the stock market, he's definitely a holder.
Yeah.
That guy does not use email. I shit you not. He's like 75 years or 71 years old. Does not use email. He just writes letters. That's his thing. So he's probably the reason why they're popping right now.
Well, I wanted to put my money where my mouth is, so I bought some shares.
Yeah. Kind of like recycle my funds here.
He's going to show up in a new Corvette. Be like, where the hell did this come from? Well,
you should have wrote me letters.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, a stay-at-home and
smart.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I think they definitely do more, right? Because I think I've seen their infomercials. They do a lot more. Yeah. Shipping solutions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So Plug caught my eye as well. 278 on TD Ameritrade. That's probably a fair deal. I think you're probably, if you can grab that and you can, if I can hit 300, I'd be happy. I don't know if you're going to hit 330. I'm not experienced with that, but I mean, at 278 to 300, I'll take the money and run. Why not? Okay. A Plug caught my eye recently. Now, the reason Plug has been catching my eye is overall on the price action. Give me a quick second. Let me adjust here. I think it is not necessarily getting ready to rip, but I think it's got some upside to it. Let me just quickly adjust my colors here on my my 50 is the one I wanted. Sorry, folks. Thought I had this set last night. Let's get this like my greens, and then I want my 200s goods. Okay. So what I am hoping for, and I know I have a little bit of a gap here, but my yellow line here is my 200 and my green line here is my 50. Plug has been on a wild ride for quite some time. I get that. However, I have some very high potential upside, and albeit it was widening for a while, it slightly looks like this 50 is going to want to catch up to this 200 in the not so distant future. And Plug was one of those stocks where I was like, I missed the boat in the first half. I was way behind in the play. I didn't understand it. I wasn't paying attention. Its momentum in the headlines and its refusal to go away in a very, very good way said, okay, I think this stock is going to be the real deal in terms of, I think they really are going to be fulfilling or solve the problem they set out to do with charging. I don't know for sure, but I am curious if this 50, as you can see, it's ever so slightly is starting to go up. I think by 200 is going to level off. And if I can catch a golden cross in the sometime over the third quarter, it's officially on my radar.
It's not going to level off. It's you don't want it to level off. You want it to keep going up like that.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I meant specifically, though. I want that 200. I don't want it to pop off. I want it to just, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. But I just want this bridge just to narrow just a little bit. It's finally caught my eye. It's a little oversold right now. I think it's going to keep getting its upward pressure. I think we're going to move into another stock here shortly. There's a great analyst rating for General Motors today, and the long-term thesis was phenomenal. So I really, really like the charging station play. I want to set my bet early is what I want to say. I missed the first boat. I hope this is a lesson for everybody. How do we get back into stocks that we weren't there before? How do we get some momentum back into it? I may have found the one I'm going to jump into. Now, again, same thing. I just want my 200 to level off. I think it's going to more or less. It just had so much pressure and it's not like shooting up. I want that 50. I think the 50 is going to cross. It's just a matter of when. That I can't read. I have absolutely no idea.
Now, how does this compare to ChargePoint?
In terms of charts, let's find out.
I mean, not in terms of charts, but like this company versus company, because they're pretty close to the same price. It's my understanding they do about the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly.
Why Plug and not ChargePoint, or vice versa? What's the big deal with Plug that you like more than other charging companies?
Specifically, just right now, the chart.
Okay.
Specifically, just right now, the chart. Last night I was hunting down companies that I can potentially find a golden cross on, specifically for something that had already had the price action, that already not, it's not a hope and a whim, but it's already gotten people's attention, which in my opinion, my thesis is, well, hopefully that momentum can carry over into a second quarter. I see this as like literally the first quarter of the game. I completely got wiped out. I just never even had a chance. Okay, we're moving into the first half of the game. This is halftime. We're getting ready to go back out on the field. That's it. That's basically it. It had the headline. I like the situation that it's in. The chart, I hope, stays favorable in my position. Now I just need to find an entry point. And guys, it literally may not be until fourth quarter. I get that. It might not actually be until October, but I am not going to miss this opportunity.
No, it's making higher lows. It's in a bit of an uptrend, even if the 200 is kind of trying to press it down. But I do like the direction of the 200's going. The 50's curling up too. So when you get like one of those upward moving 50s crossing an upward moving 200, that's a really good golden cross. It's actually a true golden cross, but it's looking like that could happen here. It's just, the thing I like about this is I'm looking at the different levels that it had previously, like the big reverse on May 11th. It's respecting levels really well. So if you draw like a line at the bottom of that May 11th green candle, you can see where it got the support back in October last year. You go to the previous green candle bottom on April 21st, you can see where there's support for that in that consolidation around November to December. And you keep going up and you're seeing these different levels that this keeps respecting. It's, especially look at this one on at 37.20. That's a pretty strong resistance level there that was defined back in December last year. So that's, it's respecting levels. I like that in the stock because then you can actually trade around this because the chart is actually working better.
Not to sound stupid, and I I understand exactly what you're saying on a first glance, but when you say respect levels, Joseph, what do you mean? Does that mean that the stock? Does that mean that it's a very efficient in the market itself, that it's not being pulled in one direction or the other when it respects levels? It's
when I say that it's respecting levels, in my view, what it's doing is it's you're seeing these well-defined levels previously, and it's going down to them, and it's saying, "Oh, hi, I remember you before. I'm just going to go this way." So that's it's one of those things where it just kind of like, "Oh, this is a level that is supposed to be support, so it's going to act as support." It's respecting the level.
Is it a fair? Go ahead.
No, that's kind of what I was getting at. Is like you're seeing these trend lines that you can draw, and it's coming down to them. And so typically what the price action would dictate is that it would rebound if it comes down, hard, or if it kind of leaks into there, it's probably going to fall through it. And that's what happened. Like we'll take the 30 level, for example, where it was support, back in the beginning of this year. And then it took off. And then, it's come back down now, and it retested support 3 times with these big candles, so big movement on those days, and then it just kind of popped up and leaked below that line. So it respects those levels when you have like really big movement, but if it kind of leaks down to that level, it just kind of goes, fuck it, and it falls over it. It does. I mean, you can see that on that level there. It respected it a couple times, okay. And then it popped up, and then it almost hit the 20, and then it said, whatever, and it just kind of leaked below the 200 daily moving average, before it found another level at 23.75, and it said, okay, we'll just reverse here, and then it kind of just leaked a little bit again after it popped up and hit 200. So it's respecting levels when there's big movement, it looks like, and when it just kind of just leaks, it just says, oh well, I'm just going to fall over until I find another level. That's just what it looks like. It's respecting levels at first. So that's what I mean by respecting the levels.
I like that. my interpretation is that the buyers themselves respect the stock quite a bit. Yeah, right. There is a true battle of the buyers and the sellers. It's not manipulation. There is no giant play here. There is no meme. It's just truly, we're gonna duke this out, and it has its own niche within the market of buyers. It's true. Like truly, they're gonna fight it out. I think that's what I'm seeing in my head when I'm interpreting respecting the levels, that like as soon as the buyers see it hitting a certain level, they're like, no, this is not the way this is going. We're scooping up here. We're back in charge. And then ultimately the bears are going to do the same. The sellers are going to do the same thing. Like, hey, no, you guys are getting ahead of yourself. We're going to take care of this, and we're going to start pushing it downward. I like that. I think that's a great way of visualizing stocks, respecting levels, seeing where seeing where the stock wants to go, because you can follow some sort of a pattern. You can see some sort of consistency in the price action. And I think that lends itself to more or less a very efficient stock, a very efficient market for the stock. I could be absolutely talking out my ass right now, but I think I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I do think that, yeah, when you look at these levels that they were previously at, there are these really strong levels that had a lot of price action in it.
Yeah, exactly, man. Cool. All right. So speaking to that one, I know we only have a few minutes left. I also found this one. This one, I don't know. It's penny stock. Okay. Now let's zoom out here a little bit. This is going to be something I'm going to want to be, boom, I'm going to be in and out, and I'm going to be completely happy with a 20% pop here. Now it's a penny stock, so I don't know how well to gauge golden crosses, but we have the same thing. I have my 50 is this light green line. My 200 is this yellow line. Guys, and I spent hours last night scouring for stocks doing this. I had a lot of fun doing it. Okay. Previously, the last true one was on February, and pretty much the moment that it crossed right about here, it popped right up, and we were at $1.17, and we went as high as $1.75. Tell me if I'm wrong. Anybody would be happy with that pull, right? I would be well into that.
That's a strong move on July 3rd through 4 moving averages.
Right here, this bad boy. Saw that exactly.
Just lasted through 4 of them like it was
right.
Nothing.
I know, and dude, I don't even think there was any news on the 3rd. We'll double check, but I don't remember anything crazy that was like, oh no, they did. It was they had a significant they had validation of some results, so that's interesting. And guys, Raymond James, I've worked for, is an extremely conservative company. It takes a lot to really impress them. And they're not on Wall Street. Remember, they're headquartered down in St. Petersburg. So they got their own kind of perspective. It kind of takes a little bit to get into those walls. I like it. Now, the question is, team, what do we got? Well, we got the same. We had just about the same thing. I don't know if I've missed this boat. And as soon as it crossed, it didn't have that 70% pop. It came right down, starting to level off again. Am I just getting in early enough? Am I just getting in? Even then, man, even when it took off over here, there wasn't a ton of price action. Maybe I'm going to have to wait for the price as it did here to hit the 200. And literally my goal here is to get in like a true penny stock play. Penny stocks, you have to be patient on. There's not a lot of news. They're going to be highly volatile. It's not something you invest in. You have to get really lucky if you want to invest in a penny stock. So my play is, okay, I don't think I'm going to be jumping in immediately because I just have too much pressure. But do I want to wait long enough for the chart to get under $1 at 87, hit my 200? Don't know, but it caught my eye that we have the golden cross and it didn't go up. I don't know what to do there, but I wanted to bring it up for the team. See what you guys thought.
It hasn't really had a lot of time yet to have that resolve. I mean, the 50 is still moving up, and it hasn't bounced off the 50. It's kind of just moving around the 20 right now. What I'm seeing is if you draw a line at let's call it 96 cents, that seems to be about where it's getting support. Then you can go and look at where that line intersects all the way across.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that could be a level right there.
And our green candle, right, hit right there. We had 2 days of candles hitting that, and it's okay.
Now you also have a bit of resistance up around 130, 128 area. That's where it's bounced and got rejected twice.
And
So maybe there's that channel there.
Exactly, that's true, man. And dude, that's a great point. And team, I could care less about, right? That's exactly what I want. This is something that I want to put a couple grand, literally want to put a couple grand into, get that 20%, and just get the hell out of there. And I'm gonna buy it on margin. This is not something I'm gonna use my own money on. I just want to take advantage of the charts set up for the play. That's it. I don't want to look at long term thesis. I don't want to worry about results. It's a friggin' biotech company. I hate biotech plays because I think you live and die by a third party of the FDA, more or less, regulations and approval. And I hate that stuff because it's like, I as an investor, I can't see into the company. I have no idea if whatever the hell they're doing is working. It's like, you can see the damn cars on the road. I know if it works or doesn't. Simple as that.
In happy hour yesterday, we were talking about how it might be a good idea to be more cautious with companies that need to raise cash.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So biotech, things that need to do offerings to bring up money, they may not be very favorable for a little while. So just something to think about.
Just want to get in and get out, team. So I with Joseph's help here, I think he's right. I'm probably going to be okay buying in at 103 and understanding I've got a downside. Even say we hit off the 50 here at 91. That's a decent drop. I'm not going to lie, but that's not terrible. And I do have the cross, so I think I have momentum going my way, and I'll completely let it go. Even at $1.25, could care less.
And you have your 500. You have your 500 at 77. So from here, you do have a 25 cent, range to the downside you can play with. Because I think the 500 might be, the last level you want to maybe have a stop at, just because it's been shown to be a really strong level all throughout, going back to August last year, where it almost bounced off of that.
Oh God, that's terrifying. I don't even want to.
Well, because the 500 bounced off in August. Now it's support. Well, for the most part.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, so my 500 is right at around 77.
Yeah, and if you look back on its history, you can see how it used to be resistance.
Oh yeah,
support.
More or less, and then it just and then it didn't want to get up through it. Okay, and then it just had this big deal. I don't know. It's got the momentum too. We only have a minute left, Spencer. I know. I just wanted to highlight GM is just going to exactly, guys. This I think is. I am so disappointed that I didn't scoop up. I've been waiting to get into GM for a while. I didn't get into the $55. That sucks. I am one. What I absolutely love about the analyst rating is that it came from a Tesla bull, and it is just finally some reality that people that build cars are going to succeed at building electric cars because they're real good at building cars. Tesla is not a car company. We don't have to worry about that. But if Tesla's proved that EVs can be very profitable for the stock price, holy crap, I want to find some companies that are going to build some EVs. So take a look at the analyst rating. It was absolutely fantastic. I can't believe I don't have the actual story pulled up, but it was nice and early. I'll have to dive into it a little bit later because I want to here it is basically. And I love the potential. Well, number one, GM wants to get in so fast, so quickly. I love the outperform rating at 85. I think that's a no-brainer. for sure, and their market cap or their potential for the market of $5 trillion emerging over the next decade. Get in now. You don't have to spend $650 a share to play the EV plays. Buy GM, guys. It's like not, and the goddamn electric Hummer is going to hit the road before the Cybertruck. It is going to be on the streets. When GM says it's going to do something, it has to do something. Spencer, thank you so much for your time. I know we have to end the stream. For everybody on, thank you so much for being here.